And I hate to be rude about that.
I mean, why should another 8-year-old be grading my son's paper and now he's getting low grades? That makes sense now.
The other children in my class are doing absolutely well. My classroom students test higher than any other students in the school.
So today, we're going to be covering the story of another parent suing teacher for $4,000 over her son's bad grades. Dear parents, is this how you're going to be suing and be dragging your children's teachers to court? See this video for yourself.
My son has been enrolled at St. Michael's for 2 years, and I believe he's being treated very unfairly in Miss Morgan's class.
Okay, why do you say that?
That's preposterous.
Well, my son excels. He's a very bright student. He excels in all of his classes. And the only one he doesn't excel in is Mrs. Morgan's class.
Okay.
She deliberately gives him bad grades. She bullies him. And then the other day, he was saying, "This is Mrs. Morgan. She's the goat." And I said, "Oh, finally, now you're starting to like Mrs. Morgan again." And he said, she's not the billy goat, she's the bully goat. So he's calling her a bully goat.
Oh, I see.
And it's...
How old is Richard?
He's 8. He's in 3rd grade.
He's 8? Okay. All right. Miss Morgan.
Good morning.
You've heard what Miss Wu had to say. Are you Richard's teacher?
I surely am, Your Honor.
What do you teach? What's your class teaching as far as its block? I mean.
Okay, I am Richard's homeroom teacher, but as well as his math and language arts teacher.
Math and what was the second one? I'm sorry.
Language arts.
Now you said language arts. How is Richard doing in your class as far as his academics?
Less to be desirable, Your Honor, is the best way to put it.
What's the problem with Richard?
Richard doesn't do his work. He spends majority of his time sitting there talking about sports or the Woo blocks or whatever it is these kids are playing instead of turning in his work.
Okay.
Now,
what about homework? Do you assign homework?
Oh, I assign homework.
Does he bring the homework home? I mean, does he bring the homework to class?
When he does, it's not him that has completed the homework.
How do you know that he didn't do the homework?
I can tell by the handwriting, Your Honor.
Ah, okay.
It's when a child's handwriting goes from slightly illegible to pristine. 9 times out of 10, the parents have done the homework, because when I ask the students a question from the homework and they can't answer it, but they got it right on the homework, that lets me know these parents are doing the assignment.
Let me ask you this question. It's been a while since I've been in school. Do they still do the grading system, A, B, C, D? They still do that?
Sure.
What's his grade looking like?
Right now in language arts, he has a D.
A D. What about the math part?
He has an F in mathematics.
An F in mathematics. Okay. Have you addressed this issue with Miss Wu?
Oh, I have addressed this issue with Miss Wu on multiple occasions.
And
she doesn't want to hear it. She assumes that I am being unfair to her child. I treat all my students the same.
How are the other children doing in your class?
The other children in my class are doing absolutely well. My classroom students test higher than any other students in the school.
Okay. Miss Wu, you've heard what Miss Morgan had to say.
Well, first of all, Your Honor, I am not doing his homework. I have been trying desperately to speak with Mrs. Morgan. I've sent her emails, no correspondence back. I have hired tutors. I work with my son every night to do her homework. And the reason the handwriting looks different is because he is a natural lefty.
Okay.
She makes him write with his right hand in class.
Okay.
And when he comes home, he writes with his left hand. Yes.
I do no such
thing.
So
Okay,
his handwriting
hold on, wait a minute. So your son writes with his left hand?
Naturally, he's a lefty.
And you're saying that she forces him to write with the...
Yes, she forces him to write with his right hand.
Okay, but Okay.
They're not really forthcoming as to how these grades are happening.
That is
he has
so not true.
I mean, look, I'm a hard worker too. I take notes. I have written down all of this, and I just want to say I can show you there a star chart of the classroom where I went.
A what chart?
Well, they have a star chart on the wall for behavior.
I don't know what a star chart is.
Okay, I'll show you.
Joe, can you do me a favor? Can you get that paperwork that she wants to show us, and then maybe she can explain to me, because I don't know what a star chart is.
Yes.
Okay.
So we had a holiday party in class one time, and I know she has said that I come into the class a lot, but I have to bring things. You know, I have a business, and we make chocolates, and so sometimes I bring them in, and it's called. My name is Nancy Wu, so it's called Woo Them with Chocolates. So I love to bring in these chocolates to the classroom and for the kids, and sometimes I happen to have to use that time to ask her why my son's grades are so bad.
Okay.
But I noticed
My lessons.
Hold on, ma'am. Hold on.
I noticed that there's a star chart on the wall, and it has all of these the kids' names.
And I see your son doesn't have stars.
And yes, and if you could see, some of them have double rows.
There's a lot of angles to this video, and I would like to address it as much as I possibly can. First is, let's even talk about the star charts, since that's the mom's major concern. I want to believe that the teacher giving the children stars in class is a way of her reinforcing the children's grade and motivating them, right? So that means she has a reason for using the star chart, meaning if a child is not meeting up to standard, she won't give them a star. For me, there was a time I honestly did not like this reward and this star chart of a thing, and it's simply because I felt it reminds children of how bad they are. I felt it can be very damaging to their self-esteem, especially when the children are already struggling to meet expectations. On the other hand, I feel our home is too small to raise our children, meaning we need to prepare them for the world ahead. And this world ahead is tough, it's full of criticism, and it is full of competition. Also, talking about the self-esteem of a child, the home, the parent, the father plays a huge role in building their children's self-esteem. For this child, this is a great opportunity for his mom to teach him how to make lemonade from his lemon, instead of her shielding him or giving him stars just to make him feel good. If you as a parent keep making your child feel good, what will happen to him when he's faced with a real world that's full of competition or that's very competitive? Have you ever thought of it that those who succeed the more are the bravest, they are the boldest, they are the loudest, even when they are not as intelligent as others? Remember that the world out there is full of criticism. It's very harsh. It's important for this mom to prepare him ahead. Again, this is what we call maturing pain in parenting. So I would encourage the parents to use it as a teachable moment, as an emotional coaching moment, and say to his son, okay, you didn't have sticker in class, and every other children in class had stars. Let's speak to your teacher and find out why you did not have a star, not even one. Again, remember, you're not meeting the teacher to fight her over stars, but instead you are meeting her to find out why your child did not have a star. And when the teacher says, oh, it's because she had F in maths and his handwriting is very poor, work with her on how you both can support your child, and then go back home and put in the work by teaching your child how to write better, by teaching him the concept of mathematics. Try to meet him at his pace and take it from there. If his pace is 1 plus 1, start from there. It doesn't matter if he's 8 years old or 10 years old. Meet him at his pace and take it up from there. And doing this is you helping your child make lemonade from his lemon. And also, depending on how you handle it, your child can become a maths guru. So it is your responsibility as parent to help your child go through those emotions. The truth is, your child will feel bad, your child will feel sad, he will feel, he'll feel those emotions, he will cry. It's okay for him to feel whatever he feels, and it's okay for him to cry if he wants to cry. But again, it's your responsibility to help him manage all of these emotions. Remember, life will throw a lot of no's to your child in real world. And how would they navigate it if all you want is for him to have a star? So help him go through all of those emotions. And the second thing here is, as parents, you are supposed to be partnership with your child's school to work together to support your child holistically. By this, I mean supporting your child academically, supporting your child physically, supporting them emotionally, supporting them socially, and also supporting them spiritually. As a parent, it is not right for you to work against school or the school working against you. According to Miss Wu, the parent, when asked if she had spoken to the school about her son's learning, she said they don't do anything, and that sometimes the teacher says everything is all right when indeed the child is not understanding the concept of maths and English. Now, here is the problem. When a child is not meeting learning expectations, it is expected of the school, the teacher, and the parent to work hand in hand to figure out the root cause of the child's inability to understand maths and English. This isn't the time to blame the teachers or the school for a child's inability. No, your goal as a parent is to work with school to find out the solution, not to fight. Otherwise, remember the saying, when two elephants fight, who suffers? Is the grass? Is your child? Again, I found out over time that some parents, they actually don't listen as well as accept what the teacher or the school says about their child. I know some schools, some teachers can be funny sometimes, and many, when I mean many have said some things about a child that is not true. But the truth is, this is not applicable in all cases. Most of these teachers truly knows what they are doing. And again, remember, they are professionals trained to do their job. So if a teacher raises a concern about your child, this isn't the time to say, God forbid, no, it's not my son, it can't be. No. Instead, work with them, work with the school, work with the teacher to find a solution. Because at the end of the day, all what you want is how to help your child to become better. Also, the teacher said that the child had F and D in maths and English, but that he was very good in music, in arts and sports. Meaning, this was not a case of the child not wanting to learn. The child puts in the effort, he shows his workings, but doesn't come up with the right answer. For me, I feel a little bit uncomfortable with that, so please correct me if I'm wrong. Are you not telling me that a child's working is not important? And that what is important here is the answer? What about the steps, the workings that he did? I feel the teacher can give the child some marks for his workings, especially if they are correct. For me, doing this means she's only celebrating results and not efforts. So I feel if she was going to give, like, say, 5 marks for a particular question, and maybe the child showed his workings and the workings are correct, or the child did not get the actual answer, she can give the child at least 1 mark, 2 marks, depending on what he's done, instead of just totally, crossing it because he did not arrive at the actual answer or result. So I think understanding the child's learning style is important here. Remember, every child is not the same.
Still, how are the other children doing in your class?
The other children in my class are doing absolutely well. My classroom students test higher than any other students in the school.
Okay.
So for the fact that he's the only one behind in class, it shows that something is wrong. And this could be about the way he learns. And the next thing you want to do as a parent or a teacher is to find out how he learns. Is he an auditory learner? Is he a visual learner? Is he a kinesthetic learner? Is he reading, writing learner? Because the truth is, figuring out his learning style can be a solution here. And again, a school might be good and beautiful, look sweet, but it is not good for your child. So for learning to be effective for a child, that child must feel safe, that child must feel happy. Otherwise, effective learning will not take place, especially with the fact that his mom complained about bullying, also his self-esteem being affected. Meaning this child is already seeing himself not measuring up with other children, and that can be a problem to his learning. So I feel you can change the school if you have laid series of complaints and the school seems not to do anything about it. Remember, you are not a tree. If you're not comfortable in a place, what do? You move.
Okay.
She makes him write with his right hand in class.
Okay.
And when he comes
I do
home,
no
he writes
such
with his
things.
left hand. Yes.
I do
yes.
no such
So
Okay,
his
hold
handwriting
on.
and
Wait a
when he
minute.
takes his-
So your son writes with his left hand,
Naturally, he's a lefty.
and you're saying that she forces him to
Yes.
write with the.
Yes, she forces him to write with his right hand.
Okay, but
Another point for me here is, why force a left-handed child to write with his right hand when the child is not naturally wired that way? Doing this alone is confusion to the child's brain. And because the brain is already confused, this can as well confuse everything about the child's learning. So who knows, this could actually be the reason the child is not understanding maths and English. The teacher said that this child is good in sports, he's good in music, he's good in arts, and he talks about it all the time. So I feel she can actually incorporate these things in the child's learning. Since he likes this thing and he's interested in them, this I feel can make a huge difference in his learning. Another thing for me here is comparing a child to other children. I feel is wrong because every child, again, like I said, is not the same. Every child is unique in their own way. That a child is not good in maths does not make that child a failure. Parents, academic success does not define a child. Life isn't about awards. Life isn't all about achievements. Life isn't all about grades and certificates. What about the effort we put into things? What about his perseverance? I think these things should also be celebrated. And lastly, I think he should be evaluated just to be sure that everything about him and his learning is all right, and just to be sure again that he doesn't have any learning disability. So the teacher, the school, the parents should all work together to help this child and not to be against each other. So guys, what do you think about this teacher and these parents? Have you ever had any concern about your child in school? What was the school and the teacher's reaction? And what do you think about all of my points? Did any of them resonate with you? Please share all your thoughts down in the comment section. Like this video and share it so that parents can see it. And if you have been watching me, you have not subscribed to my channel yet, what are you waiting for? Please hit the button now. And also remember to turn your notification bell on so that whenever I upload a new video, you'll be the first to see it. And in my next video, I honestly can't wait to see you there. Bye bye.